Welcome everybody to Drunk with Buds, a show about trying new beers with some friends and having discussions you would normally have at a bar. As always, we get our beer information from the Untappd app. That's Untappd. You can now follow the show on there at Drunk with Buds.
Today we have a 4-beer show with beers from Weldworks Brewing Company, Boxing Bear Brewing Company, Evil Water, and Drecker Brewing Company. Today we'll talk pop culture and the usual segments with our guest, who is a high fantasy, urban fantasy, and lit RPG author, James A. Hunter.
Hey everybody, I'm James A. Hunter, and I am super pumped to be getting drunk with buds.
What's up, everybody? I am the host for today, Tony Two Tones. Let's jump right in. Beer number 1, Zinfandel Hard Seltzer by Evil Water from Ridgewood, New York. It's relatively new, it looks like, on Untappd. It has 37 check-ins. Evil Water is a microbrewing from Ridgewood. It's fruity notes of strawberry, cherry, and plum, brewed with Zinfandel grapes, light, effervescent, off-dry. What's off-dry mean? It's kind of dry, but it's not quite dry.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, but it is definitely effervescent. I mean, that was the first word that jumped to my mind when I took a sip.
You're gonna use it in your next book?
Ooh. That's a classy word. That's you only get a few of those per book because then people be like, oh, he's pretentious. But like one effervescent per book, I think I could probably pull that off.
Now, weirdly, I thought he was referring to you using Evil Water as your something in your book and not the word effervescent.
No, I was definitely thinking of whatever word he just said. I can't even say it.
I'm surprised I said it, to be honest.
Effervescent. Eviscerate. That's what I would think it
was. I couldn't say it more than once. So true story, I never do public book readings because because there's so many words that I know what they mean and I know how to spell them, but I don't know actually how to say them because I never work them into a normal conversation. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to do a reading one day, and everyone's be like, this guy's dumb. He can't even read the words that he wrote, in a comprehensible fashion. So I just don't do readings because I'm terrified of sounding like a total moron.
My thing is that I know what word I want to use, but I can't spell it, so I have to dumb it down because I can't spell it.
That's fair. That's I would say that's 85% of my day is just Googling, sometimes I'll get it so wrong that the autocorrect can't even correct it, and then I'll have to Google it to see if I can figure out what the actual word is that I'm trying to say.
It's like a game to sit there and what letter combinations can I get for the autocorrect to be like, is this what you mean?
Right, trying to guess until it picks up what you're trying to say.
I before E after E.
Now, what's everyone's first thoughts about our first sips we've had about this seltzer?
Man, this seltzer reminds me of an old seltzer I've drank before, and it just takes me there, It reminds me of what I used to have back when I was there at that moment, having that seltzer that I can't really remember, but I'm going to do it anyway. This one is a red wine seltzer, and I tell you what, are those blueberries?
Grapes.
Those are blueberries on the can.
Those are literally blueberries, right?
No, I believe those are the Zinfandel grapes.
Oh my God. Well, anyway.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense than blueberries, actually. Yeah.
See, I'm glad you saw what I saw because they look like blueberries. I was expecting.
No, I saw blueberries. I was like, this is an odd. This tastes very fruity and like grapes for being a blueberry beverage. But you're right. That makes more sense.
If I looked at it, I would say blueberries. But since I read that they were Zinfandel grapes, I would say that they are grapes now.
Good for you for reading.
Yep.
Just rub it into our faces. You can read out loud like a normal person.
You have to come at me and the author.
That was a lucky read, just so you guys know.
But no, it really tastes like they smashed these fucking Zinfandel grapes all up in there in my can, and it tastes kind of fresh but a little crisp. You can definitely taste the seltzer in it. It doesn't taste like a Florida seltzer. It definitely hits the spot, though. It's very refreshing, I think.
I get what they mean.
It's super refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is very crazy, but I get what they mean now from the taste when they said off dry. Like, it's dry,
But
but
it's not
not
dry.
really dry.
It's not in dry. It's kind of off.
It's just like,
Like it feels like it's gonna be dry, and then it gets you wet again.
Yep.
So,
The back of my throat sure is wet.
yes.
I'm gonna need to make sure that my wife never listens to this interview. She's looking at me through the door right now, and it's not. There's a weird look on her face here.
I will say your wife was very nice. I got a message from her on your messenger. It's like, he hasn't been on Messenger in a while. Did you really need to talk to him really quick? Because I see that you've messaged him and he hasn't responded. And I'm like, no, I talked to him on the phone, but thank you for checking back.
No, I mean, I get lost. I get lost in the word mines. I go down there, and I'm just it's like writing books is like getting a pickaxe, and you just go down there and you just work and work and work, and you lose all hours in track of all days. So it's she keeps me on the straight and narrow and helps me be a functioning adult. So I really appreciate her for that, and also being a loving, supporting spouse, but mostly for the functional adult bit.
Right.
That's really need that.
All right, let's keep the show rolling. Bruce, play it.
Who?
What?
When
Where?
Why?
And how? Welcome to Beer Flights, where we ask you questions and you supply us answers. A little sampling of each kind of question, just like a beer flight when you order at a bar. First up, who? Who are some of your influences? Who inspired you, James?
Oh, you're talking to me. I thought that was for Tony Two Toes.
Two toes.
Oh my God, I was not prepared at all. Who inspired me? So really, Robert Jordan, and I know we're going to talk about Wheel of Time later today, but Robert Jordan, who wrote the Wheel of Time series, was definitely my biggest high fantasy inspiration. That was he was the first high fantasy author that I ever read. Up until that point, I had read like Stephen King and some contemporary thrillers, but that was my first like high fantasy author, and it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, it was something I could really sink my teeth into. And so that's probably my single greatest influence. But then past that, I really like Jim Butcher. His Dresden Files series is obviously sort of the pinnacle of like bare knuckle urban fantasy protagonists kicking ass and taking names and slinging magic. So that was definitely a big influence. And then Stephen King, prolific author who is just insane with his world building and his character development. And so I think those are my big three.
Have you ever thought about doing like a fantasy horror book? I'm not really acquainted with any of your work, but I feel like that would be a really awesome book to read.
So the funny thing is that when I first started writing, I actually wanted to be a horror author. That was sort of my even though I really had sort of fallen in love with fantasy, I always wanted to be a horror author. And then the reality is that unless you want to be a hobo under a bridge, you can't make enough money as a horror writer unless your name is Stephen King or you are somehow related to Stephen King like Joe Hill to make it as a horror author. It's just for whatever reason, like Americans have a love affair with Stephen King and will just buy anything he writes, but pretty much that's it. So it's really, really hard to make it as a horror writer.
He has the market and nobody else can have it.
Yeah, like Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son, also seems to be doing very well. And then there's like Dean Koontz, who does well. But in terms of like smaller horror authors, I mean, there are some that do well and have books that are well reviewed, but it is crazy more difficult to break in and make like a livable wage as a horror author. But one day, when I make $1 billion writing fantasy books and they get bought by like Netflix or something, and I don't have to worry about making money anymore, I'm gonna write the weirdest horror shit you can imagine.
God,
I'm just like not have to care at all about money. It's gonna be super weird. We're gonna go to dark places.
Yes, and I also think that you should try, like, you know, even though you're not like making billions yet right now, maybe you should dip your hand into making a children's horror book.
I feel like there's a Venn diagram there where, you know, there's not enough, you know, sort of Cthulhu horror for children. I really want it to be cosmically scarring for young children. So I feel like you're onto something there. There
What-
could be a untapped market.
I know we can kind of compare that to Goosebumps, but I was thinking of like, one of those like really tiny short story children's books, but like make it the goriest and most like creepiest shit you've ever seen. But it's also like maybe 20 pages. You know what I mean,
Okay.
with pictures. And
So he's
everything.
gonna be
That'd
the
fun.
he's
Yeah,
gonna be
as long as it's a pop-up book as well,
Yes.
then I'm in.
The
Then I'm
blood-
100%
The blood's
in.
coming out and everything.
so
It's
you're
just-
gonna be the O. Henry of horror.
I mean, it sounds like. I mean, you guys are. This is career advice that I am literally taking notes on right now. This is the way.
I just got my 14-year-old daughter one of these T-shirts that it says necromancy for beginners, and it shows a boy holding this little book, and he's raising this fucking goblins and ghosts out of the fucking grave. But it's in that artwork style from those 1970s books, like like
Oh
Joe
yeah.
and Jill.
Oh man, that's awesome.
All right, so I'll get us back onto the main course. What is your writing process like? Do you isolate yourself in a cabin in the woods or what?
I mean, ideally, if I could isolate myself in a cabin in the woods, that's totally what I do. But I have a family, and my wife would not tolerate that shit at all.
And don't go in the basement and read books.
No, it's yeah, and I have 2 kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, and so like we have like a balanced household and take care of the kids and do chores. But no, I write a lot because on top of writing, I also run a publishing company, Shadow Alley, and we have 14 authors who write science fiction or fantasy. And so I'm really involved not only in my own books, but also in their books and sort of the entire publication process. But it's pretty busy. I write a lot. I try to write between 6 and 8 books a year, which is like full-length novels. So I spend a lot of time. I do co-author quite a few books because writing by yourself is boring AF, and so it's fun to have buddies to talk with while you're toiling away endlessly behind a computer screen. I tend to outline a lot. It helps the sort of the editing. I used to write. I used to be what writers call pantsers, which is where you just basically write whatever comes to your mind, and then you get to the end of the story and you go back and you try to make it make sense. And I could write really fast that way, but then it would take me months and months and months to developmentally edit the book so that it was something that was like readable and that had like a plot and characters that you would want to spend time with. And so once I started outlining, it went a lot quicker. But yeah, I wake up pretty early. I hit the gym, and then I spend 4 or 5 hours doing word sprints, and then I'll spend the rest of the afternoon sort of doing admin stuff where I'm working with ads or I'm working with cover artists. I'm talking to authors and working through problems that they're having in their stories or whatever it is. So that's kind of my typical writing day.
Nice. So when did you get your start? Like, when did you realize this is what you wanted to do, the path you wanted to pursue?
Man, I don't even know that this is still the path I want to pursue. I stumbled into this whole thing. It was a comedy of errors that we got here. So my wife and I, after I got out of the Marine Corps in 2009, went back to school, and then my wife and I decided that we were going to go be international aid workers. So we moved to Thailand in 2014 with a 3-month-old baby. We made a lot of poor life choices all at once. I would not recommend doing this to literally anyone who enjoys life. So we moved internationally. We had a 3-month-old baby. We moved to like Hoi Quang, which was this like Thai Chinese part of Bangkok. We didn't have any friends. We had one friend, one other couple that was with us, but mostly it was a Thai Chinese neighborhood. No one spoke English, so my wife and I are learning Thai, and I sucked at it. I had never learned a second language. I was absolutely abysmal. Thai is a tonal language. I was bad, and so I started writing. Because there wasn't TV, there wasn't video games, there wasn't movies for me to watch. And so I would go to school, we would do our work. And then I started writing sort of in my off hours. And I finished a book, kind of looked at traditional publishing. And I was like, I don't want to be an author. That sounds terrible. That doesn't sound like a job I would enjoy at all. But I have this book. It's fine. It's good enough. I think someone would want to read it. So I studied about like self-publishing and indie publishing. And I was like, yeah, this is more my speed. And I went to my wife. I told her this is, I wanted to publish this thing. I wanted to get it edited. I wanted to get cover art on it. And so we were dirt poor at the time. We were living in this sort of concrete shack infested with roaches. We didn't have furniture because we were so poor. But my wife, because she is super supportive and amazing, was like, hey, I'm on board. Let's do it. And so we saved up the money for me to get this book edited and get the cover art done. And it took us about 7 months to save up the money. We launched the book. I was hoping to make my money back in the first year, and we made it back in the first week. And we were like, all right, well, that's cool. And it was kind of just this windfall money. And we started paying off some student loans, and I started getting emails a couple weeks later, like, where's the second book? And I wasn't even planning on writing a second book, but I was like, well, I guess I will. Now I'll write a second book. So I wrote a second book. That one did well. I still didn't think I was going to become an author. We were doing better in Thailand, but then my wife's father got sick with large cell lung cancer, and we had to come home very suddenly to take care of him because he was dying. And our agency that we were with was like, well, like, you're leaving and you don't know when you're going to come back, so we're just going to have to like let you go. So we're moving internationally, and now we have a toddler, and my wife is 6 months pregnant, and neither of us have jobs. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be hobos. There's no way this doesn't end with us not being hobos. And I was like, or maybe I just double down and make this book thing work. And then that's what I did. And I have no idea how it worked and how it came together, but 6 years later, man, I'm here, still doing it.
No, that's awesome. That's cool that everything worked out in the end, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice that you're being able to stay afloat.
It's nice that you're not a hobo in Thailand right now.
I know. Oh man, yeah. But hobos in Thailand have it even worse than hobos in America. Let me tell you, this is aces. This is the best I could have hoped for.
The hobos in Thailand sounds like a pretty good book title.
Hobos in Thailand. I feel like there's a political thriller in there somewhere.
Or you can change.
You got to find the person to write it.
An RPG style, murder hobos in Thailand.
Murder hobos in Thailand. Murder Hobo in Bangkok. Actually, that's a book I could write. I probably won't because I have so many books to write, but that could be a good one. I'll put it on the list.
Yeah, watch out
you,
for the.
You guys will all get a special shout out in the thank you
heck
section.
yeah!
Ooh, yeah.
Watch out for the killer KOK.
Wow. Now, you told me once before, I believe, that you were in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, that's true.
Were you stationed anywhere awesome, cool, or like scary?
So I wasn't. So I was only ever stationed in Camp Pendleton, which is in California, but I didn't spend that much time. I deployed several times while I was in. So I was only in for 4 years. I was in from 2005 to the tail end of 2009, and I was mostly with the 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit, the 13th MEU. So the Marine Corps has two MEUs, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and they're America's 911 force in readiness. So the MEU can deploy anywhere in the world in 72 hours, and they can. The goal of the MEU is to be able to fight sustained combat operations against anyone in the world for a month without having to get resupplied or support. So they have everything on a MEU. They have grunts and logistics guys. We have our own Harriers, all kinds of stuff. So I was with the MEU pretty much the entire time I was in, and I deployed with the MEU in 2007 to Iraq. So we went to Iraq. We were in Al Taqaddum, TQ, which was sort of just outside of Fallujah, and I was a convoy machine gunner for a Motor T unit. So I spent 9 months the first time around over in Al Anbar as a convoy machine gunner, and then once we came back, we got deployed fairly rapidly for what's called an administrative deployment. So we went to Jordan to help train the Jordanian Royal Marine Corps. So I was in Aqaba, and we were camped out on like on the Red Sea. So that was pretty cool. Super hot. It's hotter than any place I've ever been in my whole life, Jordan. And then for my final deployment, we were connected with CTF 151, which is a Joint International Pirate Hunting Task Force. And this is a very minor footnote in history, but that task force that I was a part of, I was on the USS Boxer, and we were the task force that went and rescued Captain Phillips when he was captured by the Somali pirates. So I wasn't like a Navy SEAL; I was just a stupid jarhead on a ship. But
you saved Tom Hanks.
I indirectly saved Tom Hanks. Yes, that's But it's funny. I remember we were on the Boxer, and Captain Phillips got saved. And they pulled this dinghy onto the ship, and it's like got dead bodies and shit in it, right? And like some poor lance corporals got tasked out to go like clean out this dinghy, and then like the next day I'm like flipping through the news, and there's like Captain Phillips at like a Knicks game or something, like front row seat, and I'm like, man, life is fucking cruel and unfair sometimes. Like these poor Lance Corporals are sponging out this gross, gory dinghy, and this dude's is at like the Knicks. It's but that's life sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was in the Marine Corps. I got out after that last deployment. I was gone so much, and I was just like, man, I don't want to be gone anymore. So I decided to get out and went back home. We moved back to Colorado, and then immediately made poor life choices and went to Bangkok.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate your service, man. That's awesome. That's
we all
Well,
do.
thank you. I appreciate it.
So let's get to the why. Why are you an RPG books kind of guy?
So lit RPG is kind of its own weird thing. I started off in urban fantasy, and I still really enjoy urban fantasy. I kind of broken in writing sort of gritty shoot 'em up urban fantasy, and I remembered I had written, I don't know, 3 or 4 books when I stumbled on to lit RPG. This was back in like 2015, and I had read a couple books back then. Most of the books that were coming out were like translated things from Russia. And they were weird. And I remember reading the first one, which was called Alterworld by a guy named D. Russ. And it was a translated Russian novel. And I remember reading it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is so weird. Why am I reading this? Also, what am I reading? And then I got to the end, and I was like, I want to read another one of these. And it was like this weird thing where like I couldn't quite put my finger on why I liked this so much. I had always been like a gamer. I never really thought like that you could sort of combine books and game elements in the way that they were doing in lit RPG at that time. And so I kind of fell down this rabbit hole. And again, it was mostly like translated Russian stuff. There were a couple of American authors, and I thought, this is cool. This is something I would want to write. And I had always wanted to write high fantasy, sort of like epic, big sword and sorcery fantasy. But I knew at the time that I wasn't a good enough author to write the kind of books that I wanted to write. Like, and that's part of the reason why I started out in urban fantasy, is because urban fantasy, it's not to write urban fantasy well, it does take skill, but usually it's smaller in scope, right? You have like one POV, which is a point of view character. Oftentimes it's in first person, which can be easier to write in for a new writer. And epic fantasy is fucking big, right? I mean, it's Wheel of Time, right? You have multiple storylines, you have multiple points of view, you have all of these things that are sort of working together. And I wasn't a good enough author to tell that kind of story, but I was like, this is kind of the perfect middle place between urban fantasy and the giant epic fantasy that I want to write, because I can sort of use modern slang, I can incorporate a lot of the modern elements and still sort of have some of that high fantasy setting. And so I tried it out. I thought, man, let's see if this goes anywhere. I published one book, and then people loved that book. That was my first Viridian Gate Online book, which was my first lit RPG book. And people just absolutely loved it. And they're like, oh my God, we need all of this. Just turn on a fire hose of this and shoot it into my face. And so that's what I did.
So I just had a curiosity question.
Sure.
Do you have any audiobooks? Are you planning on doing any?
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. We do almost all of our books in audio. Audio is one of our biggest sellers now. It accounts for about 50% of our monthly revenue comes from audio, and so
But you're not the one reading it though, right?
Oh God, no! I don't even read out loud in public. I would never, ever dream of reading my book and recording my stupid voice. No, nobody wants to listen to this for 8 or 9 hours. Trust me.
Well,
my
we
wife
are right
doesn't
now,
want to listen
so-
to this for 8 or 9 hours. Yeah, I know. It's a small, limited amount of time, and I'm getting drunk, so I feel like there's leeway there. No, but no, we hire professional people who are good at words to read the books. And the first Viridian Gate Online, that has turned into a whole thing. So there are 7 books in the main series. I'm working on book 8, which will be the last book in the main series. And those are all narrated by Armin Taylor, who's a fantastic audio narrator. And the first 3 books in that series are actually free in the Audible Plus catalog. So anyone who's an Audible member can go and listen to those first 3 books for free. That series became popular enough that other authors decided they also wanted to write books set in that same universe. And so VGO has kind of this big expanded universe. I think we have 12 other books written by different authors set in the same universe, following different characters. And those are also on audio. So those are really great. Another one of my series is Rogue Dungeon, which follows the exploits of this hedge mage who's part of this very incompetent rebellion in this world where the Dark Lord has already sort of won. Assassination attempt goes horribly wrong, and he finds himself thrown through a portal and in an alternate sort of world where he is a dungeon troll in an MMO video game, and then he has to figure out how to get back home and lead a literal army of internet trolls back through the portal to take out the Dark Lord. So that series is narrated by Nick Padell, and Nick Padell is, that dude can narrate a phone book and people would listen to it. He is so good. So yeah, absolutely. If you're into audiobooks, we got the goods for you.
Okay, sweet. Because that's usually how I get through books anymore, is like
getting
audiobooks. Yeah, getting drunk. But also audiobooks because I can listen to it on the way home or on the way to work or like randomly when I'm doing something. Unless I'm really invested in it, then I can like sit down and just like listen to it for hours. And so you might have another person getting your stuff.
Yeah, hey, give it a try. Let me know what you think.
Yeah,
Unless
man.
you think that it's bad, and then don't tell me ever.
Well, I looked up some of your books online, and yeah, man, some of these look like right down my alley. I really like some of these, especially the covers. Those are dope.
And speaking about what you think of something, what did you think about this beer, James?
I'm smashing it, man. This is good. It's kind of like probably the manufacturer of this beer is going to kill me, but it feels like I am drinking an adult fruit juice. It's like a carbonated, not quite so sweet high C or like Kool-Aid or something. It's super good. I could drink a lot of this, and I probably shouldn't.
We rate on the Untappd scale, which is from 0 to 5 by quarters. A really, really good score. 5 would be like, you can drink this every day. It's the most fabulous thing you can. You never get tired of it. Or a 0, I want to throw it away. Why did you fucking give this to me? I'm going to kill you now. So
All right.
by quarters, what do you feel like you would rate this beer?
Oh man, probably 3.5. I could drink this beer once a week. I probably want to drink it every day. It's a little bit too sweet for that. But like once a week, I could drink this beer.
I have to concur. I thought it was very bubbly. I did like the winey taste to it, but I'm not a huge wine fan. I have to be in the mood, and I'm very particular about it. But everything was hitting on the notes that I'm sure they want it. Now, this is the second time we've had an Evil Water, and I did prefer that other one better. That was a blackberry, just straight, non-wine, but blackberry bubbly seltzer, which was fantabulous. So I can't rate it as high as that. So I'm going to give this a 3.5 as well.
Yeah, I think if it was blueberries, I might have enjoyed it a little bit more. But since it's I'm not usually a wine guy. So, I mean, you putting wine in here, I'm thinking like I'm drinking like a very dieted mead. And I don't know. I was not expecting this at all. It's still good for what it is. I'll give it a 3.25.
Like I said, I still don't know what off dry is, but I'm really digging the taste of it. I definitely taste the grapes in it. It's got a nice little bubbly taste there. It's a solid Evil Water. So far, the 2 I've had are pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 3.5 as well.
Nice.
What we're going to do now, we're going to take a little shot break, and then we'll come back with beer number 2.
All right, I'm excited for it.
Okay, guys, check out the Tavour app on your Apple or Android device and try beers across 47 different states. Build your own custom box of the craft beers you'll love, or enroll in a subscription, and it'll automatically snag the highest rated beers that suit your taste. No minimums or commitments. Get your hand-picked beers delivered right to your doorstep for a flat fee. Yep, any amount of beer, or you'll ship for free with a subscription. And for being a first-time user, you can use our promo code DrunkWithBuds to get $10 off your first order of $25 or more. Bruce the Beer Bandit uses Tavour to get our beers for the show, so you know it's legit. That's promo code DrunkWithBuds for $10 off your first order of $25 or more.
All right, that was action background music, no copyright. Celtic medieval fantasy epic battle music, no copyright. Glory by Unwind Station, no copyright. On YouTube.
Welcome back, everybody, to Drunk with Buds. That was our little shot break. We had some fun. We took a bathroom break, but we're back with beer number 2.
I took a bath.
He took a bath. Let's
so
go.
Beer number 2, Raspberry Cheesecake Berliner. Weldworks Brewing Co. Sour Fruited Berliner Weiss. 4.5% ABV. You're right over there, James. All right.
I'm all right.
4.1 or 4.11 is the average out of 5 from 1,824 check-ins. And Weldworks Brewing Co. is a microbrewery from Greeley, Colorado. Style Guide says, brewed with massive amounts of raspberry puree, a bunch of cheesecake, and a touch of milk sugar. This delectable treat is the perfect end to, well, anything really. Raspberry, sweet, berry, sour, clean.
It smells like cheesecake.
Yeah, it does.
It tastes like cheesecake. It's wow. That's super cheesecakey.
Oh, for sure.
Why do I feel like I've had this beer before, but Untappd says I have not.
So you have not.
No, you've had the memes, the raspberry memes cake version.
We do have a friend from Untappd that did have this beer. Nathan Benham.
Oh no, not Nate.
Nathan really did.
He had this beer before, so.
This is so good.
We love
It's
Weldworks.
super good.
Yeah, what are your guys' initial
It
reactions?
smells like cheesecake and raspberries. It tastes like cheesecake and raspberries, but not the heaviness in your stomach that cheesecake usually gives you.
Not
I-
the thick,
yeah.
thick mouthful.
I kind of, on an end note, I think I get a little graham cracker, like if it was on a graham cracker crust of the cake, I get that kind of note at the end. Does anyone else taste that, or am I crazy?
I taste the very sourness of it, raspberry. The cheesecake, I taste the raspberry cheese. I don't taste the cake, so I don't taste that graham cracker.
You know, there's
you're
no
tasting.
cake in cheesecake, right?
Yes, but I was making fun of you for your cheesecake. Your cheesecake comment. So, anyway, I taste the raspberry. It's not sour. It's the hint of sour is there.
Just from the raspberry.
It's enough sour to make it enjoying. Because, I don't know.
It's not an overpower sour.
Yeah.
Has anyone had the Dairy Queen cheese quake?
No.
No.
I'm a grown man.
I don't know what that has.
You don't
I
go to-
love Blizzard.
You don't go to Dairy Queen and get a
Nothing wrong
Blizzard?
with liking things that taste good.
Yeah, that's all I got on this. It doesn't. It kind of tastes like a lightly soured seltzer, but that might still be the old blueberry sour we just had. Seltzer.
All right, Bruce, hit that button. Push buttons, Bruce.
Culture.
Pop culture. I love that. In there. We got a couple pop culture topics to talk about. The first one is going to be, I think we've already mentioned it a little bit, the Amazon Prime's Wheel of Time TV show.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys really wanted to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about this one. So,
If you were a nerd in the 90s, you were all about this book
hey,
series.
Bruce, go ahead, kick it off.
Hey, why does it have to be 90s? You could be a nerd today and still be all about Wheel of Time. It
Boom
is a
roasted.
classic that holds up forever.
Yeah, except for that one part. We kind of touched base on this in an off pod phone call, but like there are some things that wouldn't translate to the TV from the book anymore, like the main character having 4 to 5 girls falling all over him.
Yeah, him having his own harem probably won't make the cut into Amazon Prime, if I had to guess.
Yeah, probably won't. But
Like in the series though, it's fine, right? Like in the books, like I mean, it's still kind of weird. It's kind of weird. There's some weird things, admittedly.
It's just
but
old
I feel
trope.
like
It's
Jordan
like
handles them well-ish.
yeah, he uses an old trope, and like you said, he handles it quite well. But it's still kind of. Luckily, none of the other
it's still
characters
that.
do that kind of thing. Like it's
Right.
just pigeonholed into one. But like the casting of this with Rosamund Pike as Moraine. Now, guys, I know you guys weren't the novelists on this, but this book, every book was over 1,000 pages
They're so wrong.
Hardback.
They're incredibly wrong.
And he supplied a glossary in the back so you can pronounce everything.
Nice.
I still get them wrong. I can't even pronounce English words. So I mean, I
So,
definitely can't pronounce most of his.
So he had all the terms because he made up his own languages and stuff in it, and it is very immersive. It's very high fantasy, sprawling, but some reservations about the TV show. They're already spoiling things with just the casting.
How so?
Well, I don't know if you're ever going to watch it.
I probably won't ever watch it.
It was the first thing I was going to watch as soon as it aired.
It's very awesome, but
I can't tell if that's sarcasm. Are you actually going to watch it?
I'm actually going to watch it, James.
All right, I can't imagine you're going to be in for a bad time. I mean, the Wheel of Time is great, and they're really going to have to butcher the adaptation to make it terrible.
I mean, if it's got Cersei in it, I think I'm going to have a fantasy ride of my life.
But I'm just
You're
worried.
probably not wrong. What was your concern about the casting?
Well, because of what they were doing with the character descriptions, if you were reading this before you watched the show, but you weren't a novel reader like Tones, you didn't read the books, but you read these little stories about all these different characters and who they are, it spoils book 1 and 2 because there's a mystery, as James and I know, about who the bad guys are really trying to kill. It's down to like 3 different people, and you as a reader don't know. But the casting
gives that away. Okay. I just won't read the casting then.
Well, that's good, but like they're promoting that shit all over the place, and
it's all over the place. I feel like maybe even in the trailers they've let some stuff slip that like my guess is that they're like, oh, we're going after the hardcore Wheel of Time fans who already know all of sort of the secrets and the spoilers, which is super dumb because I mean realistically there are so many people who are not familiar with the Wheel of Time who would never pick up a 1,000+ page book, but who will absolutely sit through a 45-minute pilot. And so it seems like they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, unless they're just like planning on that not being part of the arc, which I guess could happen, but it would be weird since that's what drives like the action for the first 2 books.
Yeah, what would be the reason? Because I mean, like, there's 3 kids it could be, and they flee from their hometown because they don't want their hometown to be destroyed by evil because they're there. But if they already know who it is, then why did the other 2 just stay? I mean,
there'd have to be some like massive hand wavium going on where the writers are just brushing everything under a rug to make that work.
So in the inverse.com article, they say, paraphrase, we're approaching this as an adaptation of the entire series, not just each book individually. So hopefully season 1 will feel like more like the entire book series of Wheel of Time than it does like Eye of the World. So does that mean
the first book is Eye of the World? Yeah.
So then they're just putting the whole series into 1 season?
Well, they already got no episode has aired, and they already signed.
They already greenlit season 2. So
well, because then that kind of sounds like they're gonna do maybe.
How many books did you say there were?
12.
There are 13.
So they might.
13, I think.
That they're probably gonna do. Each season's probably gonna be 1 to 3 books.
It's like it's an adaptation, so that would mean like they're just trying to fill it in and try to add some of the books into the series.
It could be like probably like a 6-season series and have all the books condensed. I guess
maybe
that was just outsider.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Just remember, we already said each book is over 1,000 pages hardback. Mm-hmm. So like that is someone going there and cutting a fucking shit ton.
Oh, trust me, I've seen this kind of shit for anime, man. There's a lot of stuff out there that they just kind of. They can't catch up, or they just fucking condense the shit out of things.
But James, I think you can agree. I'll let you say it more because we talked about this a little bit. But they could easily cut like book 6 through 10 because that's most of us checked out.
No, so like it definitely. And again, I have read this series multiple times. This was like my first entry into high fantasy. I love Robert Jordan. I'm so grateful for the world that he built, but. Probably around like book 6, kind of dropped the ball a little bit. And someone's going to flame me and leave a 1-star review somewhere on my book. And they'll be like, fuck you ain't no Robert Jordan, which is true. He is admittedly a much better writer than I am. But also that's why I would never try to write a book series that is as epic as that, because at some point, like it seems like he lost the plot thread a little bit and he didn't really know where he was going with the story. or how he was going to end the story or what he was going to do. And I think that around book 6, you really start to feel it as a reader, because you're just like there are events that are happening, but it doesn't actually do a whole lot to progress the story toward like the finale that he set up in the beginning of the books. And so it like devolves, and you have a lot of politics, and you have some war, and you have some stuff, but it always kind of feels like you're a hamster on a wheel, and you're sort of treading in place, but you're not really going anywhere. So if I was a screenwriter adapter, I mean, that's where I would try to cut out a big chunk of the content is out of there. And Brandon Sanderson, God bless his soul, came in and did a really good job. So for those who don't know, Robert Jordan died before he could finish the series. But he had left some notes behind, and then Brandon Sanderson came in and wrote, I think it was the last 2 books in the series. Memory of the Light was the last one. I can't remember the other one. And he did a pretty good job. Considering what he had to work with, he did a pretty good job.
Nice. So we're going to keep moving. The TV show just came out, I believe, last Wednesday. Loki, first episode came out.
It was
Yes.
low-key amazing.
Wow.
You guys like that then? I haven't seen it, but you guys
It was really good.
Go ahead and spoil it for me. I'll watch it.
Honestly, don't know if there's any spoilers. It just happened, right? I don't think it really spoiled anything.
It didn't really spoil.
Yeah,
Except for there's a lot of Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was a lot.
I think I really loved about the whole thing is that show right now has already made Thor: A Dark World an acceptable movie to watch. Like
Which is funny because Thor: Dark World is easily the worst of the Thor movies, and maybe, in my opinion, the worst of the MCU movies.
Yeah.
And I love all the MCU movies, but Dark World was my least favorite.
But this show is making it like you need to watch it. It's worthwhile watching it. It's saving it a little bit.
Okay.
It's still
No, you're right.
It's probably still the worst MCU one, but now you don't feel bad about it being the worst. Now you're just like, it's only the worst because it's the worst rated, but they're all rated well.
Ragnarok is my favorite.
Ragnarok's the best one. Ragnarok was the best because they're doing in Loki. Like I think what they did is they realized how well Ragnarok did with Loki as sort of this very likable villain.
Yep.
But also sort of the buddy cop thing, right? Because like Ragnarok was like a soft reset. Like I think that people didn't hate the Thor movies, but a lot of people like me, I think, were indifferent. And then the MCU directors are not dummies, and so they're like, hey, we need to do like a soft reset, like a soft reboot on Thor. And so like the Thor in Ragnarok is really different than the Thor in movie 1 and movie 2. And a big part of that is Chris Hemsworth is funny, and they capitalize on that. And he and Loki have like great on-screen chemistry, and they absolutely nail that.
Now, do you know how that soft reboot came about? Like the real reason?
I have no idea. That's always just been my guess is like looking at the tonal difference between the first 2 movies and the last one. I was like, oh man, they must have like looked at numbers somewhere and be like, no, we need to fix this. And then they're like, here's how we do it. But I have no idea if there's a story behind it.
Director Kevin Smith was reviewing The Dark World on his podcast, Fat Man on Batman, which is now called Fat Man Beyond. Warner Brothers said you can't say Batman. They were commenting about that they love Chris Hemsworth and they thought that Thor was not good, but like they're going the wrong way. There's no humor. The rest, it doesn't fit in the MCU because MCU across the board has still put a little bit of humor in there and even of the darkness. And Hemsworth was listening, and he went to Kevin Feige. He said, "Listen, we need to do a change." That's why they went with Taika Waititi for the directing and all that
amazing.
stuff. And they went that route. So like a podcast can change the world.
Oh shit.
That's crazy. I had no idea that was sort of the story behind it, but I mean, it makes total sense. And Chris Hemsworth is really funny. Like I think that the little interludes things, and I can't remember what they're called, but they did those little commercials of like, where is Thor during the Civil War battles?
Yeah.
And it was like hilarious. He was hanging out with his normal roommate or whatever, and like it was so like stupid, over the top funny. And I think that that convinced me that like, oh man, this guy's got comedic timing.
Yeah.
This guy Like they could do a lot more with him. And then I was so happy to see what they did in Ragnarok, which again is just a buddy cop movie, and buddy cop movies are my favorite movies. Like, and they man, they played it up so well, and that bleeds over into Loki. Like, I feel like we have that same tone. They realize people love the shit out of Ragnarok, and that's what we're already seeing in Loki, right? Where we have this character Loki who gets paired with the Owen Wilson character, and already they have sort of this great chemistry. They're playing against each other really well. There's sort of the big reveal at the end, but I feel like they're taking a lot of cues from what Ragnarok did right, and they're applying it forward.
Yeah, I agree with that. It definitely needed a little more Marvel comedy lightened up, and that's exactly what they did, and it was very fantastic. It was so good.
Yeah. Did you guys like did you guys enjoy the weirdness of like the time, like the retro time bureau agency thing?
Yeah,
I thought that was super, like the old timey info comic commercial that's like, you're now in this interdimensional space and you will be judged for your crimes. It was like there was a lot of good funny things that they were doing there.
I think my favorite part was when he had to get processed, like, tell me if you're a robot. And like, what? I'm not a robot. Because if you were, you would like incinerate. Oh,
are there people
I don't know
that don't know they're robots?
Yeah, I'm really glad to see Owen Wilson on the screen again, though. He was one of my favorites. Like him and Ben Stiller together, fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
And him and Vince Vaughn together.
And Vince Vaughn,
hilarious. Yeah. So I was really happy when I saw that screenshot of him on there. I was like, yes, I definitely need to see this.
There's some featurettes out there you can look up on YouTube and stuff like that, where they just talking to him, interview him. He's like, me and Tom Hiddleston were having so much fun, like bringing up bullshit that wouldn't be on the show, and we're just making them have to cut it.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Make the editors.
I was before we cut this off. I know you're.
Go ahead.
It makes you think, though. Are the Timekeepers going to be the next big bad in the Avengers Marvel universe?
Well,
I don't know. I've heard though that the events in this show will have more of an impact on Marvel Phase 4 than anything else, is what I've heard.
I can see that because he definitely is supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
And so now he's recreating a timeline. So I'm really curious how that happens. And yes, I know Wanda is a Doctor Strange movie, but I'm really curious to see how they start this off for Phase 4.
Well, they already talked about the space lizard, the space lizards, being like controlling the sacred timeline. They've also talked about, they gave little seeds about Kang the Conqueror, so maybe we'll go that route. He's from the future and stuff like that, and then they're
but then we also have the WandaVision stuff, right? Where Wanda in the end, right? Like, spoilers for WandaVision, it's been out for a while, but like where she's like studying whatever, like the Necronomicon or whatever, the evil giant book of. Yeah, that's right, the Darkhold. And like obviously getting super OP magical powers. So I mean, I'm sure that's got to play into it. She could. I hope not. Because I liked WandaVision. I liked WandaVision a lot.
They did mention Nexus beings and Nexus points, and in WandaVision they talked about that her power was from the Nexus. They're drawing from the Nexus, so they're reusing terms and things like that too. Yeah, I'm sure that is not a coincidence. That Marvel does not do coincidences, right. So I'm sure that there's some sort of interplay there. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. Yeah, Marvel doesn't do it wrong, man. They got a good track record.
I was gonna say, with Marvel, everything is calculated. They know exactly what they're doing and what they're setting up.
You know what else is calculated?
What's calculated?
Our final thoughts on
the segue to the final thoughts. All right. So, Honer, what do you got?
So for this one, I want to give it a 3.5. It's enjoyable. I probably couldn't have 2 in a row, but the raspberry and cheesecake flavor, I don't know. It's just slightly sour and it's slightly enjoyable. It's nothing to brag about, but it is drinkable.
Yeah, I think so too. It's really sweet. I think I like the way it smells better than I like the way it tastes. I feel like it'll eventually wear on me, so 1 is fine. I think I gave it a 3.25. It's a good drink, but like you said, just maybe 1. After, like I said, you can have it after just about anything. you eat dinner, you can have this beer.
I personally gave it a 4.0. I really like it. It's just sweet with enough sour that you're like not overpowered by the sweet, not overpowered by the sour. I really love raspberries, so it probably really helped the score on that because I love a good raspberry drink. The blender made it smooth. It's an enjoyable taste all the way through, so it's really good. 4.0 for me.
How about,
I am also,
yeah.
I'm also going to concur. I'm gonna come down on the 4.0. I really liked the last one, but it was almost a little bit too sweet. But I tend to really like sours, and so this one has that nice sweet start, but then it kind of balances out with the sour as sort of the finale note there. And so I feel like I could see myself drinking this more frequently than the last one. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Nice. So yeah, we're gonna take another little shot break, and we'll be back with beer number 3.
Awesome. Excited for it.
I'm walking, you're talking, you're next to me. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Hold on.
I'm a bee.
Yeah, hold on.
Buzz.
I'm walking, you're talking, I'm lighting a blunt, and we are going to the park. We gonna swing on some trees and hang from some trees, and I'm gonna do this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Had a raspberry cheesecake, now I wanna put my ass all up on your face, cause you're gonna eat it out like a, yeah.
All right, James, jump in.
No, this is not my skill set, guys. I'm sorry.
It's not his skill set,
He can type it out.
I was not prepared to
out.
freestyle.
but he got that skills yet.
He can
in his
spit
writing.
those words on the paper. He can't spit those words on the microphone.
He's gonna write a
I'm
book.
not drunk enough for that.
Yeah, he's gonna
Yeah.
write a story about us. Now we're gonna go down in history. It'll be his story. You know what I'm saying? There's 2 tones, macho man drinking his bones, and then we're going out longer than a lawn chair on the lawn, cause I don't know, it belongs there. So
Man, I would love to be in one of his books. This is the podcast, guys.
that was Free for Profit, walking, lo-fi, hip-hop beat, X, boom, bap, chill, lo-fi, X, chill, jazz, lo-fi type beat by Raz Hop on YouTube.
There's a lot there. Welcome back, listeners. We're gonna keep it moving. Beer number 3. Bruce, what do you got?
The Royal Bee from Drecker Brewing Company is an IPA Imperial Double New England, 8% ABV with no available IBUs. We have 3,516 check-ins for an average score of 4.01. We have one friend check-in who scored it a 4.25. Their stupid review for pre-tasting shit is, this beer is so good. It did get damaged while shipping to me, but it's still so smooth. I rated it 4.25.
Hey, that kind of sounds like Two Toes.
Oh, you're right. It is Two Toes.
Oh my god!
Oopsie.
Two Toes pre-sampled this beer.
Hey, it was damaged, so I had to drink it before it went bad.
Uh-huh.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It really did get damaged, though, in shipping, so I had to drink it.
So what's everyone's first thoughts and second thoughts for somebody else?
It's still so good.
All right, I'm about to taste that.
Oh, well, I guess I should read the style guide while everyone's sipping.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your reading.
The Royal Bee Honey Cream Double IPA is brewed with crazy amounts of local honey, lactose, hopped with Magnum, Hallertau Blanc, Equinat, and Mosaic hops. It should taste honey, smooth, hoppy, sweetness, and creamy. Drecker Brewing Company is a microbrewery out of Fargo, North Dakota.
I love Drecker, so I love this.
Drecker is good. This beer is decent.
You guys aren't IPA.
My first thoughts is it's very smooth. I do taste the honey and cream. That's my first thoughts. I'll give you more when it's time for final thoughts. James, what do you think so far?
It is my least favorite of the 3 that we've had so far, but that is because I generally do not like IPAs. This is better than most of the IPAs that I drink, which I don't drink. I throw them into the garbage because I don't like IPAs. But this is drinkable. Like I feel like I could sit down and drink this all, like the whole can, without wanting to dump it into the sink. So that's high praise from me.
Yes,
when it comes to an IPA.
I'm usually right there with you, and that's what this show is really about. is like, oh, I don't want to try this because I don't like this, and you finding those pearls of beers, you're like, oh, I would have skipped right over this. I'm glad I didn't.
I never would have picked this up, but I like you. I taste the honey, I taste the cream, and it kind of balances out sort of the face puckery bitterness of the IPA. So it's actually not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth too. Little hoppy, but for my taste, but the honey definitely kind of smooths it out.
And that can art.
Yeah.
That can art is awesome.
Yeah, you want to fuck it? All right,
Yeah.
so go ahead and hit it. 21 bartenders share the craziest things that have ever happened at their bars. It's not a dive bar review, so sit back, go ahead and relax. 21 bartenders share the craziest. 21 bartenders share the craziest things that have ever happened at their bars by Morgan Dietrich. All right, so today we are on 7 through 9. So it's been a while since we've done this. So there we go. Number 7, the poker. Guy tries to get server's attention by poking her with a fingernail file. Draws blood. Bartender boots him with extreme prejudice. Guy comes back later that week and the same bartender was working. Bartender asks him what he thinks he's doing there, and Guy rears back and pokes the bartender in the eye as hard as he can. Not a he tried to hit him but accidentally poked him poke, but I'm gonna poke you in the eye like I've done this 1,000 times before poke. Apparently, eye poking is all in the elbow. Cops cart him off, and server and bartender eventually testify against him in court.
So he's Ric Flair with the eye poke of doom.
He said, "Woo!"
It's all in the elbow. Just gotta flex that elbow real quick. Why do you poke someone in the eye? What are you
really
doing?
weird.
What are you
It's
doing
gotta be
back
some
here?
kind of fetish, right?
Right? What are you doing back here? Poke.
Next up, 8. Make sure you guys grab your holy water and your crosses. Because number
Nice
8,
long pause.
number 8 is Satan, or it's Satin. Satan, whichever. We'll
It
find
could go
out.
either way. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, it
I
could.
think the context of the story will tell us. It would
Yeah.
be great.
Bartending one night, I had a group of younger kids, near 21, come in. I recognized the girl from a mutual friend we shared. Her man introduced himself as Satan and proceeded to be a jerk the entire night. Finally, I had to put him out. He was being verbally abusive to his girl and others. He refused to pay. I confronted and was convincing. He actually lowered his head and handed me his entire wallet. I refused to touch his wallet. Got his girl to pull his money out. Apparently super upset from me, putting him in his place. He was snapping on his girlfriend to the point where she came back inside and asked me and others to keep him away from her. Because she knew me, she asked if she could leave with me. I told her it wasn't a good idea, for many reasons. But I let her stay until she got a ride to pick her up. She left. 30 minutes later, I saw police cars and an ambulance scream by. I didn't find out until the next day when my boss called me asking me to come in. The police wanted to speak to me. He effing killed that girl. He stabbed her through the torso with the decorative katana. And my understanding is he claimed in wrestling the katana from her. Yada yada. Basically plead to some petty manslaughter, get out in 2 years type of stuff. I told the police everything I could to get him put away. His aggressive demeanor, verbal abuse to her, threatening me. I always wonder if maybe me standing up to him triggers some response in him. It was a waste. She was beautiful. And that's the story about when I met Satan.
So
Oh
definitely
my
not
God.
satin.
I was hoping.
Definitely not satin.
I was hoping you were gonna say that's the story when I met Satin at the end.
I was gonna make that same joke. I was like, oh man, it'd be way funnier if his name was Satin and he had a super attitude. But then he killed someone with a katana, and I was like, oh my God, that got dark fast. I was not ready for that.
That's crazy.
That's kind of fucked up.
That kind of.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. I thought this was gonna be lighthearted.
Maybe the
Yeah,
next one.
that's not like a crazy bar story so much as it is like a horrific bar story. That's not like crazy.
something
Like,
you'd
haha,
write.
And
it's
now
so
James
funny.
has information for his next
Yeah,
horror
it
novel.
seems like something you'd write. So, number 9, the shot glass wedding. I used to bartend for an upscale catering company, weddings, corporate events, etc. Worst story ever was a white trashy re-wedding. They only contracted our company for the bar, and it was a cheaper place doing the food. Worst night of tips I had at that job by a large statistical margin. But that wasn't the worst part. Both bride and groom had children from a previous marriage. The groom's son, in particular, was quite endearing to me. He was middle school age and smart as all hell. The rare small child who can hold a semi-adult conversation and hold his own. I kept him stocked with Shirley Temples all night, and we talked a fair amount of baseball. So, the wedding party decided to commemorate the occasion with shot glasses for the wedding party. Said shot glasses were put to use aggressively throughout the night. At the end, as we were packing everything up, one of the shot glasses is left on the counter. Most of the guests have gone by this point. Both bride and groom are well into their 40s, so by 10:30 even, the place was fairly empty. I asked around about the shot glass and find out that it belongs to the groom. He is seated with his son and the bride's daughter at a table by the dance floor. I walk over. The groom is barely coherent, passing out in the chair. The children are trying in vain to keep him awake. At the same time as me, a few other people notice the situation and begin assisting with him. With the situation under control, I want as little to do with this sordid reminder of the broken home I come from. I set the shot glass on the table and go to leave. But as I take a step away, the little girl tells me, "Please don't give it back to him. He'll drink it more than." I stop, and the son grabs the shot glass and pockets it. He reassures me that he'll keep it from his dad for the rest of the night. The look in his eyes tells me that he means it. It's a look I know all too well. I've never wanted to quit a job more in my life than that drive home.
Dun, dun, dun.
Man, I'm gonna go like cry myself to sleep under my desk. What is happening right now?
Perhaps you need to drink
Like,
some
oh,
more.
fun with
Right.
vampires maybe, and then it's like crippling home abuse
Right.
and also death by katana.
Oh man.
That's how we do it around here.
Do you have any crazy or funny drinking stories that we can get on a better tangent than this fucking horrific?
Oh my god!
Maybe
yeah,
we should have
my
talked
God.
about the garlic cloves.
You got anything you want to share, James?
I'm actually like I haven't stupid drank since the Marine Corps. Like I used to get stupid drunk in the Marine Corps, and I just like I was like, oh, no more. I'm not. It's like, so I don't really have a lot of like stupid funny drinking stories because I just don't drink that way anymore. Like socially with friends,
Right.
over the phone.
Over
in my office alone. That's how I like to enjoy.
Those are my
drinks.
stories.
It's
right.
mostly just like me drinking sadly and watching YouTube videos.
But yeah, that was 21 bartenders share the craziest thing that has ever happened at their bar. Usually I do dive bar reviews, James, and they are a little bit more lighthearted. So I didn't know what to expect with that one. So you're welcome.
Yeah, that was it. It was a winner. It was a winner of a segment. I think you're gonna want to bring it back.
All right, so let's jump into our final ratings for this beer. Bruce, what do you got?
It's smooth. It's a little hoppy. It's probably the only thing that's detracting from my score. Can art is on awesome.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge IPA lover. It tones down or smooths out most of the things I don't like about IPAs. I can taste the alcohol without being like, ooh, it's heavy alcoholic. So that's good. I can feel it. And it feels good.
Right.
So I'm going to give it a 3.75. That's high praise for an
good.
IPA for me. It's really good.
All right. I'll rate it. My score doesn't change. It's a 4.25. It's a smooth IPA. I can taste the honey. It's really enjoyable. It's probably one of the better IPAs I've ever had. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
4.25.
Is that toppling the king? Greed?
This is right up there, man. They're both. Like, it's that honey. It's that honey in the IPA. I think that does it for me.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, James? What are you rating this one?
I don't like IPAs, but I dig the honey. Normally, like I said, I wouldn't even drink an IPA, but I would drink this. I'm going to give this base score would be 2.75, but because the can art is stupid cool and I can appreciate good art, I'm going to bump it up to a 3.
Okay, nice. How about you, Hunter?
Yeah, so I'm going to say that I give this a 3.25. It is okay. I don't think it's better than Greed, so you're crazy. But this is it tastes watered down to me. I don't know. I'm tasting the watered down hoppiness, and the honey is not very prevalent in it. It is not coming out like it should be. I'm expecting a whole ass honeycomb in this bitch. Maybe like 5. Maybe like 5 more of them. And like the queen bee to pop out too. Maybe I can eat her too. But I'm saying, like, I don't know. I don't think it's that great. I think it's all right, but it's not bad. It's pretty decent for a dipper.
And for you, James, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but Greed that we keep mentioning is it's by Anchorage Brewing Company.
Triple.
It's a triple IPA. It is one of my favorites, along with this one, obviously.
And it's got great can art.
But yeah, it's made with honey as well. But
now
all right. I'm Googling it. I'm taking your guys' word for it here.
All right.
It's from Alaska.
It's from Alaska.
We're all beer lovers here. We're not beer experts.
Yes. So we just rate based on how we feel the beer is hitting us on this day.
That's it, man.
Yeah, they could have a different taste the next time we try it. Who knows? It could be better. It could be worse. We've had a beer on here called Baby Junior, which we all hated.
It was ass.
And Bruce threw up drinking it. But
yes, I did.
But I am open to drinking it again to see if it was just maybe the palate of having multiple beers on top of that. Anything was tainted.
I am not.
So I am open to.
But we did
a
stellar job of describing what the beer tasted like, even though we didn't like it. For those people who might like grass or ass. Or marijuana like style beers.
Yeah.
So
like
maybe.
Two Tone's fiance really liked it, but we did not on the show. But she loved it.
She loved it, and he questioned his commitment.
My commitment to her. She liked it, and I did not. But then I found out my brother-in-law had it also, and he thought it was pretty good, or he thought it was average for an IPA. So
different strokes.
It was just a hazy, I want to say like a farmhouse style IPA because it tasted really grassy, but yeah, that was it. So we're going to go ahead and take another little shot break, and don't leave because we still have one more beer for you guys.
Oh,
one more, baby. Ready for it.
One more, baby. James is ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to lift the veil and see if I fail. If I'm traveling up this damn hill like I'm the king. Bobby, you can come and ride this cock. It's throbbing. Yeah. Macho Man sitting over there again, and he's sitting in a chair, and I want to pull his hair just to rip it off, make sure it's not real. Now that's how I feel. The piano expresses my emotions and everything that I've been through in my life. You know that I mean it.
Is just a sand of grain.
And there's so many things I've been through. I've walked on these feet for years, and now we're going here. Yeah. Go ahead and ride that horse like a horse, and I'm going even harder than I did. It's a void in it, going even soft. Wait, huh? I keep saying that shit, but I'm riding it till I die in it. I'm on this hill and I'm driving it, cause you got it, but I got it, and we driven and we going. Why am I driving now? Who even knows? But I'm gonna say it, cause that's how it goes. And I'm gonna keep saying what I think on the brain, even though it doesn't mean shit. And I'm insane, and it's yeah. Dropping, I'm rapping, I'm chipping, I'm topping, going in. Yeah. Fantasy, no copyright music, instrumental beat, emotional melody by Vival on YouTube.
Let me throw this out there real quick. Don't forget, guys, Summer Sippin' Craft Brew Fest, Saturday, June 19th from 4 to 9 p.m. It's a fundraiser sponsored by the Builders Association of North Central Indiana. This year's recipient of the fundraiser is the Reese Theater, which is, if you haven't been to Plymouth, it's one of the historic theaters. It needs to be redone. I have a lot of memories there. It's downtown Plymouth, Indiana. They plan on having upwards of 30 different breweries and wineries there. Live entertainment. There's a headlining band is called MGB. It's called Michiana's Goodest Band. They take the stage at 6 p.m. They will have food vendors, beer podcast, us, along with the Michiana beer reviewers, or that's what it's called. They're going to be there. We met them a couple weeks ago. Guys. They're really cool guys. That was our first time meeting them. You can purchase tickets there or purchase tickets online on untappdtickets.com or find their page on Facebook. Follow that. Share everything about it. It's a really good cause, and I think we're really excited for that.
We are excited because we are going to be reviewing beers there, and we are going to be having random people from the crowds to chat, and we're going to have a live show. So we're going to have like 2-parters, maybe even 3. But we're going to have a really good time. We're going to be doing giveaways, selling things, merchandise, everything. Come support your boys. It's this weekend, June 19th. All right, get back to the show.
All right, guys, welcome back. I mean, I hate to see it because we're winding down, but Honer's got something special for you guys.
I have the last and final beer of the day. New Mexikolsch by Boxing Bear Brewing Company. Kolsch, 4.6% ABV, not available IBU. 792 check-ins, 3.74 average out of 5. Boxing Bear Brewing Company is a microbrewery, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Style Guide says, this light, thirst-quenching ale has the crisp flavor and finish of a lager. A clean, light malt profile paired with just the right amount of traditional German hops make this a perfect companion for yard work, camping, and general enjoyment of the land of enchantment. Also doing podcasting inside of a room. Might have been edited there at the end. What do you guys think?
First taste, it is light. It is refreshing. Mm-hmm. It definitely is summer lawnmower style beer. My first taste, I love it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a nice, light, slight malt. The description is perfect. I have nothing else to say. It's really good. I really, really enjoy this one.
So what you're saying is this is kind of like a mix of a Mexican lager and a Kolsch, because that is a perfect blend right there. I really enjoy this. I know it has no honey in it, but I think the last Kolsch that we had was a honey.
The Hay Bear honey?
Yeah, and that was amazing, but this tastes like it without the honey.
How about you, James? Your first thoughts?
I'm digging it. I mean, this is going to sound bad, but it's not. It is kind of a basic beer, but I mean that in the best way. It's just like a good beer that I'd want to like drink on the couch. Like I like all the other ones. But like there's something that stands out like in a really strong flavor profile kind of way. And this is just kind of like, it's chill, man. It's I could crack open a cold one with the boys. This could be it.
This one is definitely like one of those like last call beers.
This one has the most drinkability, I think.
I agree. I really
this one
like
you
this
can
one.
Just buy a case of this and just drink it.
I was thinking that as well. I could probably replace a Bud Light or a Coors Light. If I'm going to the grocery store or whatever, I could probably pick these up instead of those to replace.
That's exactly right.
To replace what I was about to do, just hang out and drink a beers.
And you might be able to buy a case, but you can't buy a win in Bruce Trivia.
Stupid.
That's a good segue.
Bruce
Trivia.
Bruce. If you're not right, you're wrong.
Bruce Trivia.
Welcome to Bruce Trivia. Today, we're going to do Family Feud style. It's the Rosses versus the Townes versus the Hunters. Now, I know Family Feud only usually uses 2 families. We're going with 3. So we got hands on our buzzers and our mouth noises.
So what's yours? Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. I'm bringing the
Here's mine.
What I got.
We asked 100 adults, what might a woman do when she catches her man checking out another woman? Ross.
Punch him in the arm.
The number 1 answer. Would you play or pass?
I'll play.
All right. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 answers.
Jesus Christ.
What's the actual answer for punching in the arm? That can't be the right.
Hit him.
Okay. I had a lot of hit 'ems.
Yeah.
That wasn't a Bruce stretch there. That was just
I
straight
had
on.
a lot of hit 'ems.
So the number one answer is on there. You have 8 more to go.
Scold him in some type of way, like really or something like that. He's not gonna,
Yell, call him on it.
okay. That's the same thing.
Yep, that's the same. That was number 2 answer.
Not say anything and then bring it up later.
I'm going to stretch a little bit here.
Was
Walk away. Not say anything.
What if I said walk away next time?
That was the number 5 answer.
How about just is that the same as ignoring? Ignore it.
That would be the same.
Okay.
Oh my God, he just asking another fuck.
All these clarifying questions.
Yeah. He's like, oh, is this? Does that have to do anything with this? Yeah. Okay. There's a freebie for you.
Yell at the girl. I'm running out of answers now.
He's speaking
Damn
through
it.
experiences now.
I'm trying to think. What else did I get in trouble for?
8's a lot, man. That's a lot of answers to come up with.
Maybe like an eye roll.
Sorry.
Damn.
That's 2 strikes.
What have I said?
Hit him, call him on it, and then walk away.
What else can you do?
So much.
Fight the bitch. I don't know.
That was the last answer. Beat up the other woman.
That was a.
Oh my God.
I didn't think I was gonna get it right. Beat up the man.
You already did that. That was number 1
Oh,
answer.
that was a hit.
You're still on the board. Keep going.
What else do we got? Cuss the lady out then. You said cuss the man out. Why not the lady? Damn it.
3 strikes. All right. Who is the older between you two, James or Honer?
I don't know how old is James.
I am a ripe young 35.
Yep, you're older.
All right. So 35 to 34.
He's not that old.
James, you get 3 strikes as well.
Oh my God, this is terrible. Can I say I'm 33 now so that he gets to go first? Because my
He's
God,
not-
I'm 29.
He's
flounder?
29, so.
Oh my God, this is terrible. All right. What were the? Okay, so you're checking out another woman. What were the answers on the board again? I can't.
We got
keep track
hit
of this
him,
shit.
yell,
Okay.
/ call him out on it. We have walk away and beat up the other woman.
Yeah, let's go with passive aggressive bullying. That's my that's my wife's
Passive-aggressive
go-to.
bullying. I'm gonna give you a Bruce stretch.
What was the answer?
All right, hey,
Give
that's-
him a
that's all
dirty
you-
look.
Okay.
That's kind of
That's the same
passive aggressive.
thing, yeah.
Giving him a dirty look. Okay, that was the number 3 answer. We still have number 2, number 4, number 6, number 7.
God, what? I'm having an epic brain fart here. There's a number 2 answer that's not hit him, give him a dirty look, or call him out.
Well, number 2 was call him out, so you get the number 3. The number 3 is missing.
I got nothing. Can I pass? Can I pass?
Get a couple strikes, and then you'll go to home.
All right. Shoot bees at him. I mean, that's what I feel like.
Shoot bees. Okay.
I would do that too.
Because of honey.
God, I felt for sure. Like, no, you carry around a queen bee in your pocket, and then when you get irritated,
That was
you
one beer
summon a
ago.
storm.
I would have gave that to you. But we're on New Mexico Colch.
You needed like a machete for this one.
I'm just gonna go low key and say push him into oncoming traffic. I feel like that could be a
Kill him? Okay,
him.
let's see.
contender.
The board says
Murder is not the answer.
no, murder's not the answer.
Boo.
Is that 2 strikes or 3?
That was 3.
That's 3.
Definitely got to be 3.
All right, Honer,
Son
you
of
only
a-
have to get 1 right.
Fuck.
The question was, what might a woman do when she catches her man checking out another woman? We have hit him, yell / call him out on it, give him a dirty look, walk away, and beat up the other woman. What is your answer?
What is Morgan going to do?
I think they would probably check out another man.
Oh, kind of like, if you can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. Really?
I'm sorry, 2 Tones, you win.
I feel like there's a Bruce stretch there, and he didn't do it.
So close. The number 3 answer was check her out as well. So
girls.
that's
Wow.
just enough different
They-
to not stretch.
That couple is in a very different relationship than I am with my wife.
Withhold sex, laugh at it,
Oh.
cry was the other answer. So we have cry, laugh, withhold sex, and check her out too. We're available.
Okay.
That's why I said
I can see all
I,
this.
I feel like if the people answering that were being honest with themselves, murder and summoning a swarm of bees would have been higher on the list. I feel like
the B would have been number one.
All right, we got one win in. This one is worth one as well. We asked 100 people, tell me something a man might do to get a woman in the mood. Honer.
kiss her neck.
Very descriptive, but kiss is all you need. Number one answer, would you wish to play or pass? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 answers.
I'm gonna play.
He's going to play. All right. Tell me
smart.
something that a man might do to get a woman in the mood.
Touch her.
Be more specific.
Rub her.
Massage her was the
Massage.
third answer.
I like how sensuous he's talking too, because I feel like that's
It's getting me
definitely
in the
what would
mood.
woo them.
It's getting me.
Yeah.
Tell me something what a man might do to get a man in the mood. Talk sensual.
Same thing.
Ship me
Give
a
him
bunch
free-
of
give him free
beers and
beer.
invite me on a podcast.
Yeah. I would say for another one, whisper in their ear.
Strike one.
Talk dirty. That's a whole ass thing. How is that not a
Strike.
thing?
2.
You guys are all like,
I guess your moves don't work anymore.
I guess not. That's so weird because
Good thing you have a person.
because she's always wet.
Maybe you found the wrong for
She's off dry.
She's a little off track.
It fucking went over there, dude.
She's a little off
You don't need your
track.
buzzer right now to answer a
Okay,
question.
so answer questions again. What's it?
Tell me something a man might do to get a woman in the mood.
Turn down another woman.
All right. James, we're going to go back to you. Do you wish to get your 3 strikes in?
Yeah, no, I have been married for a long time, so I feel like I am definitely gonna fail. But I'm gonna give it a good old college try here.
You got 3 strikes.
So we have kiss her and massage her already on the board, right?
That is correct.
That was it, just the 2.
All right, so let's do buy her flowers.
That is correct. That was the 1, 2, 3,
That was
4,
the
5,
exact-
6 answer.
The exact answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do cook her dinner.
That was the 7th answer.
Let's do household chores. Are you kidding me? There's nothing that gets my wife going more than me doing a
Well,
load of dishes or some laundry.
I would like you to know, it doesn't say tell me something you would do to get your woman in the mood. It was tell me something a man would do to get a woman in the mood.
I feel like women are way more into domestic chores
Yes,
than this
exactly.
survey is letting on. Man, I thought that was a winner for sure. Okay. Man, I am super boring. Obviously, like most of my answers were going to be based around domestic chores. So vacuuming, definitely off the list. Yeah,
that would be a
definitely off the
chore,
list.
so yes.
Oh my God. All right, let's see. I had cook her meal. How about take her out to a nice restaurant?
2 strikes.
Buy her an expensive gift.
I'm sorry. 2 tones.
What are the answers?
We have tell her something a man would do to get a woman in the mood. We got kiss her, massage her, bring her flowers, cook for her. What do you have?
I only have 1 strike, right?
Yeah, it's one or
It's,
the person who played first,
it
which is
wins.
Honer, will
It's a
get the
swing.
win.
All right, let's say play some music. Play some like sensual music or something.
I would think that was on the board, but it is not.
Damn it.
Honer gets the win.
What's the other answer?
Number 2, light candles.
I thought about that.
I won with the little.
No,
kids.
that's a fire hazard.
I
Number
won.
4,
I
strip.
won. Yes.
I cannot. You don't want to see this strip.
And
Right.
why you would want to do this before you strip, then the next one is turn down the lights.
God
So she
damn.
can't really see
So
your
see-
ugly
okay.
body.
So you turn the lights
I
down.
can see that.
You
Guess-
turn the lights down, you light some candles, then you strip.
Guess
Got
who
it.
fucking lost? You.
Shut
All
the-
right, so we got one win to one win.
I won on a kiss.
We're going into the final round at
It was
worth
just a kiss.
2 points. So, James, you're still in it.
Oh my God! All
Fuck
right.
James.
Hey, I have no dog in this fight, man. I'm just here for the beer.
I'm
all
a
right?
pit bull. You a fucking chihuahua.
All
right.
I'm not gonna fight you over family feud, man. If you want to win that bad, it's all yours. All right.
See, he's a chihuahua.
I'm a lover, not a fighter, man. I'm just gonna drink my beer and peace over here.
Congratulations on your high five.
Thank you.
All right, we got one last round. This is for all the marbles. If everyone's keeping count, Honer, between you two, has a commanding lead. But our guests are undefeated.
So how are they undefeated if he's beating me?
Only when there's no guests.
We've beat him.
Okay.
We've beat him before.
All right, this season, James.
I'm ready to break this streak. I'm ready to break it. I'm ready to be the first loser
How dare us let our
in drinking
how
with Bud's
dare-
history.
How dare we let our guests win?
All right, so we're going to the last round. Anyone's game, worth double. We asked 100 adults, 7 answers on the board. Name a gift you can pick up at the last minute. Honer.
Flowers.
The third answer. The other two can ring in and beat it.
He put his thing down, bitch.
2 tones.
Gift card.
The number 7 answer.
So I can just ring in whenever I want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a regular card that you would like a card, stupid card.
Like a card.
Well, you already said card.
I said gift card. He's thinking
It's
like
a gift
Oh,
card.
you said
this is
gift card?
Like a
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to rewind here.
Oh my gosh.
The number 1 answer.
Gift card. I win.
So he didn't give you that shit?
So gift certificate was the number 1 answer.
Gift certificate, not a gift card.
Same fucking thing.
No, they had it not.
It is a
You know what? You're right. He is the only one who said card. So guess what, guest? You got the number
Here
1
we
answer.
go, see? Letting the guests win.
Nice.
You
Nice.
see,
It's
now he's
my
happy
favorite.
about
It's all
it.
coming together, guys.
He's over
It's all
here like,
coming
man, I'm
together.
gonna fucking lose.
All right, so we had the number 1 answer, the number 3 answer, and the number 7 answer, all given. You have 3 strikes. Name a gift you can pick up at the last minute.
Condoms.
No,
Oh.
our guest has the board, not
I
you.
know. I
Oh,
just
man.
wanted to say it.
So again, the guests have always won, right?
That's correct. This season.
All right.
This season.
All right, this season. So I need to be a first here. So I would say a gift that you could definitely pick up at any time would be caviar. I feel like that's a strong contender. Caviar. Final answer. Ring it in.
Because caviar is so readily available to people.
That's yeah. I mean, I don't know. You guys are doing gifts wrong if you're not getting people casual caviar. I'm really feeling like I was onto something with the bees before, so I'm gonna say an appointment with a good apiarist. That's gonna be my next answer.
That's 2 strikes.
Wow.
One
I feel like you're not even trying to help me win at all, and I don't really appreciate it. Man, let's go with a 6-day all-inclusive cruise to the Bahamas.
That's so easy.
Super
to pick
last
up.
minute.
That's so easy to pick up.
Well, on that Bahama trip, they probably were
Stretch.
drinking, so liquor is correct.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that
There's
was
your-
it. That
there's
was
your
it.
stretch.
Fucking guests always
Okay.
win because of Bruce.
So we have liquor somehow that I got. No, who mentioned condoms earlier? I feel like that's a good like housewarming present, possibly. Like, hey, you only have 2 bedrooms. Maybe don't have a child. So
Or maybe
condoms.
that
Let's go
Justin
with that.
Timberlake, Andy Samberg song, "Dick in a Box."
Dick in a
Oh, dick in a box. That's it. That's the better one. I mean, it's like all you need is a box and a dick to make that
You
one
might as
happen.
well give
So-
that one
Well,
too. You might as well give that one
Well,
too.
I'll let you know that some people might think that is candy. So, so that is correct. We have gift certificate, flowers, candy, dick in a box. liquor on a cruise ship, and a card. We only got 2 more answers on the board. Keep
Two
going.
more. So what I'm going to
James,
keep going.
you can't lose,
what I'm
James.
excited for is how you're going to twist it to make this win. Oh man, I would say a pet alligator. Like maybe not like a full-grown alligator, but like a caiman, like a black caiman from South America.
I'm sorry, that's 3 strikes.
I'm sorry, it didn't work. Okay.
Since I had to switch things and give you the number 1, and technically you were number 7, that means Tones had number 7. So Honer, you had 3 strikes.
You should have given him like stuffed animal for that one or something.
That's not on the board.
Oh, cool. I don't have to say it then. So what are the things?
We got gift certificate. We got flowers. We have candy / dick in a box. We have liquor that's on a cruise ship and a card. What is a gift you can pick up at the last minute?
How many is left?
2.
I know, right? It's fucking hard.
Yeah, like what the fuck would I give you?
That was it. I think they should.
One of
Well,
these- one of
women
these
are
2
super
answers.
into candles, so it could be a candle.
One of these 2
You could go
answers
with a
is
candle.
so on the nose. I can't believe you're not getting it.
Food. Wait, I got 2 more. I thought it was fucking.
It's 2 more.
I thought
buddy.
that was the last one.
I'm the
Damn
last.
it.
I'm
Okay.
the last one. I can win or lose.
A car.
2 strikes.
Last minute gift. I got you a car.
I want to be your friend. That's the last thing gift I want. A
Man,
car.
I forgot to get you something. Here's my car.
Okay. We already said food.
Yeah, you just said it.
just said food. Not we. You.
Nobody said food.
You did.
Food.
You just
You
said
just
it.
said it. And I gave you an X for it.
You said food and then car. And then food.
All right, let's see. So, a dog.
Damn it. That was a good one. I was say like a pet.
That was a good one.
Well, he didn't say, he said no to dog. He didn't say no to pet.
That's 3 strikes.
A dog is a pet, and if you didn't give me that, that's
2
bullshit.
tones is
He
it.
don't like you.
It's either you win or James.
We'll give it.
Name a gift you can pick up at the last minute. You have 2 possible answers.
What
This
has
is all you, man.
what has
Let's
been
make
said?
history
Gift
together.
certificate,
Gift.
flowers,
Flowers.
candy / dick in a box,
Okay.
liquor / cruise trip,
Okay.
and a card.
So something you can get last minute, and it's not one of those, because those are the only gifts I give, especially at birthdays. The candy is.
Dick in a box.
Oh man. I have. Oh, money. Money. Duh.
The number 2
that
answer.
was
2 tones
it.
win.
Nice.
Look at money.
And then finally, the only answer not given was we have an author on the show, and he didn't say book.
You give
What?
a book.
Give
People
a book.
give books out as gifts? I didn't
mean,
know that.
You were gonna.
God, this
you were
is
gonna
going to
send
change
us,
my whole business strategy.
You were gonna send us some books, so.
Yeah, not as a gift, more as like a bribe.
So,
or maybe a threat.
2
I don't know. It's
tones,
hard
give
to
your
say.
victory speech.
It's been a really long uphill battle, not just for me, but for the hosts and co-hosts of this show. Like, we've been grinding our way to the top, and against all odds, because we know Bruce does everything he can to let these guys win. It's nice to get a win for the little guy. So, fuck you guys.
I agree. This
We
was your
win.
this was your chance to shine, and you did it.
All right, let's go ahead and end this segment. Let's do our final ratings. Honer, what do you got?
Yep, I give this a 3.5. Pretty good. I like the mix of a Mexican lager and the Kolsch in it. Very distinct taste. I wish it had a little bit more. I don't know. I think it has a nice blend of both. But I think if it had a little bit more of the Mexican lager, it would probably be a little bit better. But that's what I give it. 3.5. What about you, Bruce?
I loved it. It was like our guest said, it's an everyday beer, but it's cleaner, it's smoother, it's got just enough flavor to be like different than what we normally have on a fair of like a Bud Light or anything else like that. It's a good mix of two different styles, the Mexican lager, the Polish Kolsch. I'm going to give it a 4.0. If I wasn't in an air-conditioned room right now and I was outside getting done mowing the lawn, I probably would have gone higher. But that's not where I am right now. I'm at a 4.0. What about you two Tones?
I think I'm right on with you. Really super drinkable. I could, like I said earlier, I could definitely drink this. Like I could buy a case of this. Normally I can buy like a 6-pack of some other drinks, but this one I can buy a case of. I can probably either late night bonfire, early morning day drinking, or middle of the day drinking for sure. Yeah, this is going to be, the more I talk about it, the more I'm going to bump it up. It's going to be a 4.25.
How about you, James?
This was a great beer. I'm gonna give it a 4 because it's like it's because it is so drinkable. I could drink a lot of it. It's the kind of beer that I'm gonna sip like when I'm sitting on the couch or I'm out working in the yard or something. Sharing one with the friends. Like I would replace like a Coors or a Bud Light for this instead. It tastes better than those things. But it just like it's the kind of beer that you can drink and forget about, and but in a good way. So yeah, I like it. 4 for me.
Bruce, 15 cities, you got it?
Yes, I do. We have the 15 cities, the top download episodes from last episode. Who was listening? Columbus, Ohio was. South Bend, Indiana was. San Jose, California. San Antonio, Texas. Frankfurt am Main, Hesse, Germany. Adelaide, South Australia. Kentwood, Michigan. Denver, Colorado. North Glen, Colorado. Hope, Ohio. Fort Hamilton, New York. Indianapolis, Indiana. Chester, Virginia. Atlanta, Georgia. Austin, Texas. Newark, New Jersey. Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Billerica, Massachusetts. Bluffton, South Carolina. Bucharest. I think it's Bulgaria. Maybe Turkey. Somewhere in that area.
Thank you.
Springfield, Illinois, Warsaw, Indiana, Elkhart, Indiana, Mishawaka, Indiana, Elkhorn, Nebraska, Far, Texas, Clichy, France, Buckingham, Buckinghamshire, England, Bayonne, New Jersey, Plymouth, Indiana, Dowagiac, Michigan, thanks, JK, Fremont, New Hampshire, Dowagiac, Michigan, which I already said twice now for some stupid reason, Huron, North South Dakota, Berrien Center, Michigan, Happy, Kentucky. Was that you? Are you
not me?
Ah, boo! You should have said yes.
Yeah,
and Copenhagen, Denmark. Copenhagen, Denmark.
That was the first for Plymouth that I heard. Shout out Plymouth. That's our hometown. Appreciate
Not
that.
some of yours hometown.
I agree. But also, I just want to say how much I love James.
Anyways, we're going to go ahead and do the guest book. James, if you can, sign your favorite can. Send it back to us free of charge. Bruce will give you the address. We'll pay the shipping fee.
So what was your favorite can?
So it was close. The New Mexico Close was really good. It's like just a good drinking beer. But man, the raspberry cheesecake one with the sour, I like that one a lot. That one that's my favorite. That's my favorite out of the day.
So that would be the last call then. When bartender orders, bartender says, last call, what are you drinking out of these 4? That raspberry.
So what are you?
That's the one, man. That's the taste I want in my mouth when I.
That's the one.
That's not always my favorite.
That's the taste I want in my mouth.
Yeah. Bruce, what do you got? What's your last call for the episode?
See, when I say someone says last call, it's what you want to walk out with. What are you drinking?
Well, they won't let you walk it out.
True. What do you want tasting last? That doesn't necessarily mean always my favorite one today. Last call for me is definitely the Kolsch. I think it's a good walking away beer.
Hunter, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with bitch ass over there. I'm gonna go with the.
A lot of love.
I'm gonna go with the Kolsch as well because this is the one that makes me just. It's very, very refreshing.
Yeah,
and I think it would be a nice. It ends off all the beers that I had, and it just tampers them off very well.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. That Kolsch, that was it. Like that was, I think that's even to the show. I think that was the nice, refreshing end. Last beer for the show, the Kolsch. I think is my last call. And now we're gonna go ahead and do our social medias and promote anything we got. So James, what do you got? What are all your social medias?
I'm most active on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at writer James A. Hunter. I'm also on Twitter, but mostly on Facebook. I mean, if you hit me up on Twitter, I'll eventually message you back. But way more active on Facebook. I also have a website. You can check me out at authorjamesahunter.com, or you can check out all of the books that we publish at shadowalleypress.com. We have lots of stuff up there. If you're interested in giveaways, stuff like that, I also have a group on Facebook, the James A. Hunter Bookshop Hangout, and we do a shit ton of giveaways. We give away audiobooks, we give away ebooks, we give away signed books for me and a bunch of other authors. So if you're looking for freebies and awesome community, that's a good place to go. So check me out there, and obviously you can find all my books on Amazon and on Audible. So check those out. If you're looking for something good to read or listen to, check out Viridian Gate Online. It's in the Audible Plus catalog, so you can listen to the first 3 books for free.
Nice. Go ahead, Honer. What do you got for us?
Okay, so I'm Hona Creations on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I make dumbass videos for dumbass people like me. And my personal is Twitter. It's PETOWNE.
Nice. Me, the host for the show, Tony Two Tones. You can find me at TwoTones87 on Instagram, on Twitter. Those are usually the most active. I'm not super active with social medias, but
he's sexually active, but not socially
active. So at the number 2Tones87, follow me. Bruce, what do you got? Lay it all for us. Give us all of it.
I'm Beer Bandit Bruce on Twitter and Bruce the Beer Bandit on everything else, including Untappd. We also have a website where we can sell our merch. It's teespring.com/DrunkWithBuds.com. We have some new sour summer designs up there. If you feel like you're ready for Miami Vice, but it's sunset, boom, boom. That's what we got. Tanks, tees. We even have baby wear.
And beach towels.
Baby wear and beach towels. That's where it's at.
That's right. We're going to be at the Crafts Brewing Fest, where we're going to have some hang on your wall, open your bottled beers.
Open your pockets.
Open your pockets, because you're going to want to buy it. It's a beer opener for bottles, and it collects your tops as you open it, and it's because it's magnetized. It's got our DrunkWithBuds logo on it, and the guy who made it, a past guest, Evan Stavala's Man vs. Wood. Shout out to our good friend and for supplying those, and you can only buy those at the Beer Fest.
Yes,
sir.
Shout out to Evan Stavala for sending product. Shout out to Spark to Tabor for sending merch. Shout out to hopefully James. He's gonna try to send some merch.
Fear the Sparrow just text us.
Is gonna send us some merch. Jeanette Hurt's gonna send us some merch. Jared Callen's gonna be there in person and possibly bring a friend. So stay tuned because that'll be big. But we appreciate all you guys that have been on the show.
And we love all of our guests.
Shout out to the Women's Craft Beer Collective. They have constantly been a part of what we do and sharing and liking. And Ayla Jalen is always around.
She's gonna send us merch so she gets in time too.
Shout out to all you guys. We appreciate the love, and we will do what we can to sponsor and support you the best that we can and get your name out there as well.
And you can look at our website, drunkwithbuds.weebly.com. That's WEEBLY, for if you don't know how to spell Weebly. We have all our beers up there on our ratings. We have our episodes. We have random photos. Recommendations, which haven't been updated because I'm a lazy-ass bitch. But there are still recommendations from season 1 and 2 that are on there. Go there. We also have this nice little form you can fill out where it just says, hey, I want you to try this beer. And if you put it in there, we'll get that email and we'll try to grab it and put it on the show. I want to thank you, James, for being on. You were a fabulous guest.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun, man. I had a great time.
We appreciate it. All of our local listeners, go ahead, show up to the Brewfest, say that you listen. We'll take selfies. We'll do whatever we want to within, whatever we can do in public and not get arrested for. We're down to do it. So show up. Let's have a good time. We'll see or hear or listen to you next time, and that's it.
And now we're going to be editing this out, so it's just regular talk until our guy comes back with our music interlude that we usually finish on. But James, we would be more than happy to have you back later on, maybe a couple months down the road. I hope you're open to that. And please, your author friends, your whatever friends that you think that would have a good time, that need some promotion or can help us be promoted, send them our way. We love to book different people. We want all different walks of life because we're all about the every man, the every woman, drinking some beers, having a good time, and just talking about what happens.
So yeah, we're not.
No, that sounds fun, man. I'll make sure to recommend y'all.
So yeah, we're not judges or anything like that for like contests. We show up, we drink the 4 beers, whatever is on tap, rate them the best that we can. It's a show about for the everyday man. Like, just, you're not sure if you're into craft beers, maybe you listen to us and maybe something sparks your interest. So
all right, let's close this bitch out. So we are ending it off with Kadomoy Popsicle Music Panda on YouTube.
All right, James, it's time for you to rap.
No, oh no, God no.
You got 4 beers in your system. Try something.
No, this is I think it's Tony Chucho's. This is his thing, right? I mean,
We'll see if it even has a beat.
This is what Honer does.
or is it, this is Honer's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
He's bringing the heat.
Yeah. Popping bubble gums in my buns, going faster than I did when I was with Genghis Khan. That's what I meant. Yeah, hey, yeah. This is an anime type beat, so I'm trying to keep up with this fucking beat because it just keeps going, and I'm running. I'm running next to a car. Running next to a car is going really far. Yeah. I feel like I'm really jogging next to a shark in the water. I'm going into space, now I'm going even farther. Going farther than I did. I'm a space shark, man. Now you know that's what I meant. Cause yeah, we are running next to each other. Yeah. Running to each other. Yeah. Running to each other. Yeah. Hold me in your arms like yeah. Hold me in your arms like yeah. Hold me in your arms like yeah. I'm a shark in the water and I smell the blood. It must be that time of the month, but hey, I was just joking when I said that a little moment. Cause I'm just free flowing. And I'm looking at the cards and it. You are my future. I'm going to you. I'm gonna race to you. I'm in a Mario Kart world. I feel like I'm in a rainbow land. I'm in the rainbow kart world and I'm going down.
Red shell, blue shell, green shell.
Yeah,
banana.
rainbow world in this motherfucker. Oh yeah.
Ironically, we've had Rainbow Road IPA on the show.
DoorDash order.
DoorDash order.
It's food's here.
My food's here. Yeah. Close it out.
Thank you for being on, James. I hope you had a
Thank you
great
guys.
time.
You guys have a promising future in music, so look forward to seeing your rising star.
Yeah, Honer is definitely killing the show for sure. Until next week, guys. Enjoy.
Drink responsibly.
What does Honer say? Stay sexy.
Stay sexy.
Stay sexy.